What's going on, Aces? Welcome back to the channel. I hope that everybody is having a wonderful Thursday. It's gorgeous weather out there. I love the month of May. The flowers are blooming. So if you have the opportunity, go ahead and get outside, get some sunshine. Listen, Chris Brown was arrested while he was in London. He was on tour, and supposedly this is an incident that happened in 2023 where he allegedly hit a music producer over the head with a tequila bottle. This week has been a lot for celebrities. Let's go ahead and get into this article. So it states that Chris Brown is in trouble with the law again. The R&B singer was arrested Thursday in the United Kingdom over a bottle throwing incident at a nightclub 2 years ago, TMC has confirmed. Brown was taken into custody at the hotel in Manchester, England, early Thursday morning on suspicion of grievous bodily harm, according to law enforcement sources. The Sun reported that Brown was busted hours after he flew into town on a private jet, landing in Manchester Airport. We're told that the arrest stems from a violent incident that reportedly took place at Tape nightclub in the Mayfair section of London on February 19th, 2023. So, just a side note, I'm wondering why they are just now getting, around to arresting him 2 years later. Because I don't know what the statute of limitations over in, London or the UK is, but 2 years seems like a really long time to wait. Or maybe they were just waiting for him to come back over there since it wasn't in their jurisdiction. Says Brown allegedly clashed the music producer Abe Dewal and is accused of attacking him with a bottle. At the time, Abe, the producer, told The Sun that Chris smashed him over the head with the bottle and then punched and kicked him. So the music producer's attorney, Ryan Dainschward, in his 2023 lawsuit against Brown, tells TMZ that we can confirm that Chris Brown was involved in an incident with our client and the injuries sustained are serious. We are pursuing all legal remedies to hold him accountable. At this time, we will let the facts speak for themselves through the proper legal channels. And of course, they reached out to Chris's rep and there's no word back. So let's hear from TMZ what they found out about this case.
Chris Brown, and he is today facing charges in the UK where he was arrested at a hotel. But I gotta imagine this came as a huge shock to Chris because what he was arrested for was something that happened almost 2 years ago, actually more than 2 years ago, I believe, when he was in the UK at a club and allegedly threw a bottle that was smashed on the head of a record exec who was in the club that night. Now
there was a civil lawsuit.
Yeah, we knew that there was a civil lawsuit filed over this fight, but we had no idea that there were criminal charges being investigated. And obviously there were because he had just recently touched down in the UK, arrived at the hotel.
Yeah, so really serious situation for Chris Brown here. We thought that this was sort of a couple of years old. We had reported upon on the civil case, but now it sort of reemerged. It appears that, unbeknownst to everybody, that the criminal investigation was ongoing. I guess they had issued the arrest warrant some time ago, but they were waiting for him to reappear in the UK. Apparently, Chris had no idea either, or presumably
why would he have gone to the...
Yeah, he wouldn't have gone if he would have known.
Right.
We didn't hear about it. We had no idea. I just real quick, I'm just going to test your memory.
Oh, boy.
There was...
This is not going to go well.
No, I think you'll remember. There was a huge incident
fight between the nightclub
and the nightclub in New York. What was the name?
Dream nightclub.
No.
Whip.
It was Whip. Oh, my
yeah,
God.
I did get it. Yes, I corrected myself once it came up.
Well, that's
on
what I
the
was
screen.
thinking. I was just thinking of it when I heard this because it reminded me of that.
Whip nightclub. That's right. That was back when Drake and Chris were battling about Rihanna.
And bottles were thrown.
Yes.
Hey, this is Jen String from Georgia, and this situation with Chris Brown is really unfortunate. Obviously, if Chris Brown would have known that he had a warrant in Manchester, he would have never went. The question is, how long is he going to be in jail? And will there be a halt to his tour now that he's locked up?
Okay, so that was TMZ. And I have a couple questions, right? One, would they not have let him know? I mean, Chris Brown is somebody who has, I'm sure a very, reputable legal team, because this is not his first brush with the law, but he also is a businessman, right? So he owns like multiple chain restaurants and franchises, I think like Burger King or something. Um, but what I'm saying is music is not his only revenue stream. And now there that's come to a halt because he got arrested. So again, I'm not familiar. It's so funny. I was just one of my clients I was dealing with today. She was from the UK. I didn't even know that when I got the contract, but I got I got payment from her when I woke up this morning because they're 6 hours ahead of us. But I was like, oh, I read she's in London from the UK. Maybe I can ask her. No, I'm joking. But I'm just thinking like, so they don't let people know if there's essentially like a warrant out for their arrest or if there's some kind of legal issue, because TMZ is right. It wouldn't make sense for Chris to schedule that on his tour knowing that he could essentially ruin his whole tour, right? That doesn't make sense. Also, what's his legal team doing? Like, does he not have them on retainer? Because again, it wouldn't make sense for him to be traveling the world if he is wanted for an alleged, assault or some kind of crime. Because I feel like if you have like certain felonies, they won't let you into. I know they won't let you into Canada. I think there was this long list. Once Donald Trump got arrested again, people were saying that he wouldn't be allowed in the country. Which, I mean, they talk a good talk. I don't know, but I do know that just regular Joe Schmo, if you can't enter certain countries if you have certain things on your criminal record. I don't know how it works for celebrities. I'm not a celebrity, but I do know that I would think that he should have had some kind of notification from his lawyer or his agent or somebody, even while he was booking the venue. Would he not have someone you know check out security and things like that? Like, there's not anybody in his network that could possibly let him know, like, hey Chris, this incident that occurred 2 years ago, allegedly you're essentially wanted for this crime that was committed against this other gentleman. I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. But I don't know, I'll have to keep you guys updated on the situation. But this is wild that he would go back to a place where he was wanted. Again, like I said, I don't know what their statute of limitations are, if they even have them, but you would think that either he would have been notified or, you know, somebody on his team should know. Like, is he going to have to fly his lawyer, over there, or is he going to get a lawyer in the UK? I don't know. This is this is a mess. And the gag is he just put, free Tory on his social media, and now you're locked up. Like, you need to be worried about your freedom, sir, Mr. Brown, before you start talking about other people who was sentenced for harms against other people. These men are a trip. Celebrity and money and status does not give you the right to put your hands on other people, to harm them. I'm not, like I said, I'm not an advocate for violence at all, unless you feel like your life is in danger. You're trying to get that person up off of you. But Chris Brown has a long history of violence, especially against women. We know about Rihanna. We know about Karrueche Tran. We know about, just all these people. And he's talking about free Tory. No, Tory is where he needs to be. He's actually where you are now. Like, those tables turned real quick. You over here talking about free Tory. You need to be trying to get yourself bailed out now, sir. And then Tory, more than likely, he's going to go back to Canada after he, finishes his 10-year prison sentence. But anyway, you guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Please be sure to like the video. When I find out an update on Chris's court situation, I'll let you know. Drop down in the comments. I want to hear from you, and I will talk with you in the next one. Take care, Aces. Bye.